The Carl B. Phillips Show.
Hosted by me, Carl B. Phillips, Uncle Carl.
The Carl B. Phillips Show.
Get ready for another great conversation on the Carl B. Phillips Show. Welcome to the Carl B. Phillips Show. I am Carl B. Phillips, Uncle Carl. Today's guest is a member of the stellar award-winning quartet group Young Men for Christ. He's the owner of King L3 Entertainment. He's a singer who can sing in multiple languages, and he recently released a new single titled He Did It. Please help me welcome Frank McGee. What's up, young man?
How you doing, Carl?
I'm great. You know you're sharp tonight, man.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna have to lose about 100 pounds so I can borrow that jacket one night and hang out.
I think you can fit it. I think you get in it.
Well, listen, man, as I stated, I'm going to ask a couple of random questions. So this is the first random question. Which of these goals will you intentionally focus on in the new year? Get in better shape, spend less, save more, read the Bible more consistently, quit a bad habit, or learn a new skill?
Those are something that I all want to do, honestly. But I definitely, first things, can I give three or it has to be one?
Well, go for it.
Okay, so the first one definitely would be to get closer with God and have more of a relationship. I have a relationship with him, but a little bit more, going more into depth, being more intentional with it, and just being more involved with God and ministry, of course. Secondly, I would say getting back in shape. I lost a lot of weight. I was going to the gym consistently last year. I just fell off so bad. God was dealing with me in some things. So, I had to shift my focus, but that's definitely another priority of mine. And save more money. That's definitely, it should have been number one, but God is always first. But save more money, absolutely, because, I spend a lot of money. And I have a lot of things I want to do.
Do you sometimes fall into that retail therapy trap?
Absolutely. I find myself buying something every weekend. I have to stop eating out. I need to know how to cook. I can cook a little bit, but not like I should and like I want to. So, that's always me spending money on food too. So, I'm working on it.
I'm a bachelor, so I understand that because I can cook, but for me, it's like, why? It was just me, because I find out I would cook stuff and I buy stuff like 2 years later, the stuff's still on my shelves and I'm throwing out.
Yes.
Or I put in the freezer a year later, let me throw this out. Let me
a
just
year later
pick something up, wipe my mouth, throw it out, and just take garbage out later on. I have to clean no dishes or anything. So I definitely can understand the spend less, save more.
Yes.
I really enjoyed reading your bio. One of the things that I read that you are the only son to your parents.
Yes.
What was it like when you went from being an only child to a big brother of three sisters?
Well, what's happened so unexpectedly, honestly, I was the only child for 12 years with my mother and my sister, Brooklyn. She'll be 12 years old in July. And it was definitely a shake up for me, because I was so used to being the only kid, of course, being spoiled. I'm still a little spoiled, I would say. But, being the only child was, of course it was in your nature, of course. So it was an adjustment for me. But it was easy. When she came into the world, I adored her. I loved her. It feels like she's my child. I don't have any yet, but, it feels like I'm always there for her whenever she needs me. So it turned out to be a great thing. With my mother, of course, my first sibling, yeah.
So are you that protective big brother?
Yes, I try to be. I try my best. Using the guidance and the knowledge that my parents and my grandparents instilled in me growing up, I try to share that with them, always being like, as far as being in church, always being respectful, how sometimes, young people are when they're growing up, and even young ladies, of course, snap back a little bit. So, she had a little mouth on her. So, I mean, it comes with it, and we've all been there. So, it's just knowing how to guide them in that direction, and just also being a help to my mother and also my other sister with Bailey. My other sister, she is 9. She'll be 8 this year. No, 9 this year. She'll be 9. And then with my other sister in California with my father, She will be 10 this year, and they will be 9 or 10, 9 or 10. I just can't keep up. But yeah, I try to be that inspiration, that role model, and they always, say brother, they call me Lance. I have a lot of names. So, they always try to call on me.
So I finally, after reading your bio, figured out where
Mhm.
Lance came from. I know
Yes,
you're named after your father, but I'm like, it's his middle name, the Lance.
Frank DeLance. Yes, Franklin DeLance McGee III.
So I like,
Absolutely.
was it was like I could never figure out how did Lance come out of Frank.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
So talk about the McGee household on a Sunday when you were growing up.
Well, the McGees are the my father's side of the family. Growing up, I was always around my father's family, of course, but the Johnsons were my family growing up. That was my great grandfather, my great grandmother, my grandmother, which is my mother, my father's mother, and that's where I really got my spiritual growth from, knowing of God and being involved in church from that side of the family, the Johnsons. And, on a Sunday morning, we go to church. Growing up, my home church was New Great Design Hill Baptist Church, where the pastor is Eddie James Patterson. And I had been going there ever since I was at least 4. And that's the church that I remember growing up in. And that's where I learned how to sing, sing in church, be active in church, have a relationship with God. And that's where that was established at. But prior to that, my family attended a church called God's Way Baptist Church as well. And, I remember a little bit of there, but that's also some of my growing up as well. We would go back sometimes because my family was still, involved sometimes in the church at God's Way. But yeah, a Sunday morning, we go to church. After that, we'll go to eat sometimes, and we were always together. We were sing together, pray together, and do all of those things that spiritual family and Christian family would do. And it had paid a lot of impact on my life, and very grateful for it. Very grateful.
What was your favorite Sunday dinner?
Uh, to be honest, we would go out to eat on Sundays. We were going out to eat, and that's my problem now. I become so accustomed to going out to eat. But also through the week, my great grandmother, Irma Johnson, she would cook through the week, every day. It was always a full course meal. Either it was a soup or greens or neck bones or pork chops. It was always something being made over there, so we know we could go there and eat. And yeah, I mean, definitely was the food that I ate.
So you mentioned earlier that you know how to cook.
Hmm.
What's your favorite dish to cook?
Salmon. Salmon is my favorite.
Wait a minute now.
It's
You grew
easy.
you grew up on Southern food. Now you're gonna get bougie. Oh, I like cooking salmon.
Honestly, because it's so easy, and now that we have the air fryer, I'm in the air fryer all the time. Everything goes in the air fryer. So yeah, I'll do that with some broccoli maybe or asparagus maybe or something. But it's not often that I'm cooking. But when I do, that was my go-to. So yeah.
At what age did you discover your love for singing, and what led you to pursue a career in arts?
Uh, Ever since I was a child, I can remember my family telling me I was singing all through the house. They would have to tell me to shut up, go sit down, go sit down. It wouldn't stop. Me being around music my whole entire life. First off, watching my family, all my family sings. Most of them, not all, but most of them. My great grandfather was sing, my grandmother was sing, my great grandmother was sing, and my uncle, who's a part of the group, he would sing, of course, and my cousins. So, we all kind of had that musical side to us or whatnot. But watching my father play for a group called Scott and the Heavenly Stars in Detroit, which is a quartet group as well, seeing him playing keys and arranging their music, and watching them also just sing as well, being able to bring in the presence of God and being able to command the stage. And I feel like it was such the power of God as well, but the power that they held, it kind of inspired me to be able to want to do something in that area. And my dad would grow up playing the drums and playing lots of instruments. And then he also went into the producing side, which I do aspire to go to. Well, get more entangled in or whatnot. So yeah, he's definitely been my inspiration. My dad is my number one inspiration for his music. And then once I was aware of the gift that I had that God had given me, I decided that, well, I decided I wanted to go performing arts school.
Mhm.
More so my parents decided because they saw the gift that I had. And I went to Marvin L. Winans Academy of Performing Arts. The Bishop Winans is the founder. And that's where I really discovered the gift and the desire I had to be involved in performing arts and being an artist.
So that leads me to my next question, and I hate when artists do that, but it works.
Uh-oh.
No, seriously though. So my next question: your educational history includes the Winans Academy of Performing Arts and Detroit School of Arts. Talk
Yes.
about what you learned on your educational journey in those performing arts schools.
Um, well, going to a performing arts school, I was so taken by seeing the older high school, I don't say high schoolers, but the older children or kids, however you want to call it, seeing them being so heavily involved with the music and the drama, playing the violin and instruments. That gave me the motivation to push to want to do so. Before I even know what type of the school and who Marvin L. Winans was, I just saw, the aspect of the youth being involved in the performing arts.
Mhm.
And that kind of gave me the desire to want to grow more in that. And during my time at Winans, I learned so much, being able to play the bass violin, playing the violin, the cello. I haven't done it in a while, but I'm sure if I get back to the hang of it, I could do it. Um, Sight reading, music theory, reading music off off the sheet music, of course. And it was just like, I was thinking when I went would be like a high school musical type thing, but DSA was more so that. I'll get into that. But yeah, being able to then know who Marvin Winans was. He would come into the rooms, of course, and he would come into the vocal classes, and we say Bishop Winans, and it was a great experience, because he catered to the performing arts. It's something that he loved as well, and
Mhm.
he made sure that we were involved, doing different things. Had different celebrities come to the school, and work with us. And also, I was most known, I would say, in the school in elementary for being the lion in the Wiz. So every time, he would see, oh, that's the lion, that's the lion. And, in 2022, I believe, Young Men for Christ was able to go back to the church. So it was kind of a full circle moment for us. Oh, he said, oh, that's the lion. I remember, yes. So, every time you would see me, that's the lion. And,
Okay, so
that
wait a minute,
definitely
I'm gonna
gave
jump
me,
in. Can you sing a little
yeah.
bit? I'm the lion.
Um, I'll say what you want, but I'm here to stay because I'm a mean old lion. Doo-doo-doo. You can go where you're gonna, but don't get in my way because I'm a mean old lion. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ah, you
Yep,
still
it brought,
remember it.
yeah. Yes, absolutely. I still have the videos somewhere of the script. I keep all of that stuff. Try to keep those memories. Just to be able to show my children down the line. What I was able to
You
do.
need to post that because we need to see that.
Right? Yeah, I got the pictures. I'm gonna have to send them to you so I can check them out.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
You're also a former member of the Detroit Youth Choir, who are doing a fabulous
Yes.
job. I think their Disney show comes out in very
Yes.
the future. What was
Hmm.
it like being a part of DYC?
It was a great experience, honestly. I found out about it, about DYC. I was watching the news with my grandmother I think it was a Saturday morning. And they were saying Detroit Youth Choir. They were on the news, I think Fox 2 or Channel 4. And I said, oh, I like that. The vibe was really nice. They were singing. And it was for me to do something on the weekends, besides school, but also to do something different. So it was a great experience for me. I was more so there in the beginning stages before they are where they are now, of course. But I was Mr. White. He was definitely like an inspiration to me as well. He would give me that push and motivation. I had a high range at that time, so they would try to use that all the time as much as they could. And there was a song, "Now Behold the Lamb." We did it for a Christmas show, and I was doing the male solo part on that song, and that's what most people knew me and remember me by. So those times were really good. I learned how to choreography a little bit more. I'm not the best dancer, but I was able to, do a little something with that. So it was a great experience, all in all. Yes, very great
Let's go back to the Detroit School of Arts because we
experience.
kind of got off a track of that.
Yes.
What was it like being in the Detroit School of Arts?
Detroit School of, I don't know if you've seen High School Musical or anything like that, the Disney movie, but it was kind of literally like the same thing. I'll say, we would be singing up and down the hallways. It was an art school. It was the school of that Aaliyah went to, graduated from,
Mhm.
and that legacy. We knew we were. It was DSA. That was the school. The place to be. And that time there, I was able to be a part of a lot of ensembles, Vision Male Ensemble, which was an all-male choir. We were able to travel to South Africa, for 2 weeks. We toured Johannesburg, Soweto, Pretoria. We were able to sing for First Lady Michelle Obama, Sidney Poitier, a lot of stuff we were able to do, and we were singing every weekend. I was doing that, and as well as the group, Young Men for Christ, for a long time. So it was I was singing every weekend, every day, and it was really 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 great experience. I was able to explore more of singing more foreign languages and being able to enhance my knowledge in sight reading, music theory. I was able to win a few competitions. MSVMA, got the abbreviations what it stands for, but I scored superior, which is the highest rating. And also when I went to the national. So, it was really great. Shout out to Cheryl Valentine, my instructor at that time, Miss V. And they're planning to do a reunion concert this year. So that's how much of a bond it was. It was a great experience for all of us because we created a brotherhood outside of that. And not just in school, but we still connect with each other, still keep up with each other. It was more like a fraternity. So it was a great time for me.
So, can you sing something in another language? You remember anything?
Yes. What's the name of that song? I'll sing it. Caro mio ben, credi mio men, senza di te languisce il cor. Caro mio ben, credi mio men, senza di te languisce il cor. Caro mio ben. Yes, I forgot what it meant.
Ah, that reminds me of when the Grammys, when
Mhm.
Pavarotti couldn't sing and Aretha
Uh-uh.
had to step
The
in.
Franklin, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So who knows? It may be an award show. Opera singer
Okay,
said, "Here, Frank, do you know this song?"
I learned it. I think she learned it on the. Well, I think she had knew it. Did she know it
She knew it.
prior?
She knew because she had
Okay,
done it prior. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, she done it
Yes,
prior.
yes,
But
yes, yes.
you just never know where your gift might take you. So
Yes,
don't be afraid to explore, that side of your gift.
exactly. Yes, being versatile. That's the best type of singer, in my opinion.
All right, time for another random question.
Okay.
Where would you most like to go on vacation? The beach, a cruise, mountains, sightseeing, theme park, or staycation?
Sightseeing. I don't like I like going on a cruise. Well, my family's going to a cruise this year, and I don't want to go. I just feel like, I'm like too closed in, or not closed in, but I'm not able to do what I want. So I feel like, um, and then also going out of, I can go out of the country, but I enjoy seeing different things. Like, I'm not more, I don't have to go to a warm place for a vacation, honestly. I don't have to go anywhere like, hot or anything. I'll go somewhere like, just to go. I can go to Memphis or somewhere down south. But I when I go for a vacation, I want to be able to make a memory, something. I think all vacations are memorable, but for me, I do enjoy sightseeing. Like for instance, I do want to go back to New York. It's probably not a vacation spot most typical people would want to go, but I have a whole itinerary I want to do. I want to see a Broadway play. I want to tour Harlem, Times Square, see a few plays, and that's for me sightseeing, and just also like my family would take trips to colleges, historic colleges. We went to a college in got the name of it. It's in Washington, but we went there. I think it was no, it's not a college, but yeah, we went there. Sightseeing is more a thing for me, and being more memorable for me.
So In 2022, I did 2 trips to New York.
Really?
I did one for my birthday to see the
Mhm.
MJ play. So I was in heaven with
Okay.
Michael
Was
Jackson.
it good?
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Okay.
And then I also wanted to do New York for Christmas. That
Hmm.
was so
I'm sure
cool.
that's
So I got to see
beautiful.
the Rockettes, which was
Yes.
awesome. I went into Harlem and hung out. Great soul food place. And I'm like,
Yes.
just go and just check out the vibe. Just
Exactly. And it's the aesthetic of New York. Like
yeah,
it's just like, a lot of greats have came from New York. I'm not and even not just gospel, but all genres of music. Like you have Mary J. Blige, you have uh so many others. I forgot the man's name. Rodney Jerkins. The list can go on. That's why I love New York.
you definitely got to go spend a couple of days in New York. And
Did you
then
go to that restaurant in Harlem where all the celebrities that signed their names? I don't know if it's Gina's. I don't think it's Gina's.
oh, you're talking about
Uh,
so you got Red Rooster,
mhm.
Melba's,
I
I
think it
know
might be
what you're talking
Melba's.
about. Because what is her name? Sylvia's.
Sylvia's. Okay, it was a lady's name.
Yeah, I did Sylvia's, I did Melba's. I haven't did Red Rooster. I did the Red Rooster in Florida, and
Mhm,
I did a Caribbean soul food restaurant in Harlem.
mhm.
Also, I did the Apollo, went to the Apollo and checked out the
Yes,
Apollo. Showtime at
and
Apollo
that's so
one time.
historic. It's
Yeah.
so historic.
So
It's
yeah,
so
if you
historic.
decide to go, I can tell you a few things to do.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, let's get back to talking about music.
Mhm.
You are the lead singer for the Stellar Award-winning quartet group Young Men for Christ. Talk about how the group was formed.
Uh, Back in 2012, I was asked to do a solo for an event, just a single song or something. So I didn't want to do that, go that route. I wanted to have, the full shebang, the band, the singers, and all of that. So my dad, of course, was going to play for me regardless. So he was going to play with me. So I said I was going to ask this guy named Devontae Harris. He played. He was also a guy I knew growing up amongst the quartet industry or whatnot, and just being a well-rounded musician. He played bass that day, and there was a guy named we call him Day Day. He grew up in church with us, so he played drums. And then no, I'm sorry, I take that back. I take that back. My cousin Adrian Johnson, he played drums. So this is the Johnson side of the family, the musical family. So he played the drums that day, and he didn't continue to go on with us. But my uncle was came on afterwards. So my uncle was not even there in the beginning. It was just my dad, my cousin, Eric Johnson, Jr and Devontae, my cousin Adrian, and Devontae. So yeah, the five of us, and we were asked to sing a song, sing a couple of songs, whatever, and we just went on from there, and it became a group. My uncle came in somehow. He said, "Oh, I'm about to get on this. I see where this is going," because he also was involved in quartet. He played for the Heavenly Stars as well. He was their drummer, so. Yeah, I'm gonna hop on this and let's do this. I can see where this is going, and it just took off from there. Guys who came and gone. But it's always been the foundation of myself, my uncle, my cousin, and my father. And that's where it started because it was a family thing, and it still is a family thing. The goal was to just be able to reach younger people, and also being able to sing alongside with your father. That's not done very much. So we both share gifts all within the family, and we just brought them together. And since then, it's just been a blessing. Now we have my cousin-in-law, who's my cousin, which is my uncle's son, Eric Johnson Sr., his son-in-law. He's our drummer. Then we have Tony Stanford, Davion Gross, Alan Stanford, Josh Turntine, and Aaron Meyer, and our manager Laville Nero. So yeah, it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing.
So who's currently in the group with you?
The singers now are Davion Gross, myself, Eric Johnson, senior and junior. Those are the singers currently. My dad is still a part. He does a lot of our marketing and our, as far as our networking and our social media. So he's still untangled in that. We have our musicians, Tony, Alan, Josh, Aaron, and Lance. And yep, and that's the combination of Young Men for Christ.
So you're at the Stellar Awards and
Mhm.
you hear Young Men for Christ. What was that moment like?
It didn't feel real, honestly. We were so surprised. I can remember when we first started out, and we're doing like a little docu-series or whatnot, and we recorded. And they said, "What do you see yourself, or where do you see the group going, and what do you want for the group?" And I said, "I want to have a Stellar Award. I want to have a Grammy Award." And I was 12 years old when I sang all of this, and to see that come into fruition in 2021, it was so unreal because we were up against so many uh, heavy hitters in quartet. There was Tubbs Morton and Gifted. There was Roy and Revelation, and the Gospel Legends, and ourselves. And we had been singing a very long time, but we were more northern known, I would say, not down south. So we were
Mhm.
more so the whole south is a whole nother bracket of quartet. So they were like, they're not even known in quartet, but we were known more so in the industry. And so that's how I was able to come into place. And once that moment happened, it was just like so surreal. My dad was instantly crying as soon as he got on the stage. Him and my uncle both, they he couldn't make it through the speech. So but it was a great experience. It was a really, really, really great experience for us.
That's so encouraging for other young people coming up that you can speak it early in life, but then see it
Mhm.
come to pass.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Sometimes you don't think that it is, but continue to stay on the race because once God sees something that you're faithful to, and He will give you the desires of your heart, and I've seen that come to pass.
Wow. Let's talk about Frank McGee, the solo artist. 2019,
Yes.
you put out He Keeps On, follow up
Mhm.
in 2021 with the single Make Me Better. How
Mhm.
did the experience of being a solo artist differ from being the lead singer of Young Artists for Christ?
It was different, honestly. It was being able to become well, it was stepping into a area or era of independency. I was so used to leaning on the guys to be there. If I wasn't able to pull it together, they would be there to pull it together. But in this instance, I had no choice but to do it for myself. And I wanted that freedom to be able to do. Like I said, I've been to a performing arts school. I've learned different genres of music, styles of singing, and when you sing quartet music, you're only subject to one certain style and one certain sound, and you're not able to kind of break free of that. So that's why I said in this, when I went about doing my own first solo single, I wanted to be able to step out on faith and do something different that people had not known for me to do or heard me do, and something that I know that I was capable of doing. It was just being able to actually do it. So it was definitely different for me, but I came accustomed to it. But I was not doing it fully as much as I was still doing, Young Men for Christ, because Young Men for Christ was booked every weekend, out of state, in town, interviews. I wasn't able to fully go full force with it. But when I did put out that He Keeps On, just like a little teaser to see what people would think. And I got a good response from that. And then when I put out the single in 2021, Make Me Better, I was able to reach Billboard number 44. So that was a great experience. I never gotten that far as a solo artist. And with that time, the time frame that I did put the single out, it was good history, or good moves for me, I would say. And I was just grateful to be able to, you know, be amongst and be around, more industry people, and be able to do different things and to mark new territory for myself as an artist and as a name for myself. And now we are with the new single. He did it.
Hold on, hold on. You
Okay,
jumping ahead. You jumping ahead.
I got you.
Rewind. No. Okay. So last year I had the
Mhm.
opportunity of being at your live recording session.
Yes, yes.
And I'm going to speak this because this is something I felt. I believe you are one of the ones God is going to use to carry the legacy of Detroit gospel music into the
Thank,
future.
thank you. Yes, sir. I
And
received that.
because of the impact that happened that night, I saw a total different side of Frank McGee.
Mhm.
Talk about the night of the session and some of the people that you work with to make that night happen.
Yes. Well, that whole year, I said I just wanted to do something different. I wanted to, really like, go for it. People were saying, "Why aren't you putting out your own music?" you have a whole different entity. You're like set aside, like totally different from the group in Young Men for Christ, because the group is known for the suits, but I have my own swag, I'll say. So they wanted to people were like, why not showcase that and be like versatile artists that you are. So, I wanted to go about doing that. And the night of the recording, it was very surreal for me. I was very nervous. I was sometimes, you get scared of what people would think and how they would react to you and how they would be accepted to you and the new style of singing and genre. But I was also true to who I was as well. I didn't try to stray away too much from who I was as far as the churchy sound and the traditional sound of gospel music. But I was able to, try some areas as far as contemporary music, and worship there, here and there. But the recording, it was a great, great, great success. Um, people were saying they were making because I called it Finally Frank. Some people were like, there's finally Karen. And I just feel like, I mean, great minds think alike. But I did get inspiration from Karen Clark Sheard, of course, in that aspect. Because she stepped out on faith as well. I believe she took a chance, stepping aside from her sisters, and doing something that she wanted to do. And I said, finally, Frank, I'm gonna be like Karen Clark Sheard, why not? And and okay, and look at Karen Clark Sheard now. So
Legend.
thank you, thank you, thank you. That's all I'm saying. But yes, that's definitely was an inspiration for me. But other than that, I wanted to be able to do something different, and I think I accomplished that very, very, very well. Working with so many great artists and young people, I wanted to make sure I was able to work with people around my age and be able to give them that opportunity, to be able to write, collaborate, arrange music. Some of my material was mostly written by myself, but also I had Stacey Smith. She was also a writer on there. Tiffany Campbell from Ohio, Toledo, Ohio, and Tony Stanford. He did a lot of writing as well for the project, and he did a lot of the arrangement. He did all the arranging, and I was able to sing along with Kristen Murray, Pastor Christopher Murray's daughter here in Detroit, Jeff Peterman, Joshua Harris, Danielle. Can't think of Danielle's last name. Danielle and Deja Powell. Then those are the singers, and we had the instruments. Jacob on guitar, Andre Stanford on bass, Tony on keys, Josh Turrentine on organ. Josh is the daughter. I'm sorry, not daughter. I'm sorry, grandson to Evelyn Turrentine Agee and the son of Harold Turrentine. So he does have a lot of legacy as well. And Layton Shorter.
Josh is
Yes, Josh.
Humble young.
Yes, very humble, very respectable, and one of my closest brothers. All of them. We have a brotherhood. We share a good bond as brothers. It was easy. It wasn't hard. That's what I thank God for. It was not hard. Everybody was on one accord, and the process was not hard at all. And being able to just have that moment with them, it was great. It was great.
Tony and his brothers, man, they're doing an awesome job in the city.
Yes.
I
Yes.
was shocked. I went to Bishop Coney, did a quartet program, and I hadn't been to a quartet program in years. What amazed me, all the young cats are hanging out at quartet.
Yes, and it's so crazy, honestly. And that's the thing when the Young Men for Christ were able to go to AIM, the Church of God in Christ. AIM, what was that? We went twice, and we sung for Bishop Sheard, and he brought us back again to his church. And there were so many young people bombarding the stage, like bouncing with us. It was a great. It gave us that energy and that push. And thinking in Detroit, there's not many, I would say, of young people that cater or that enjoy the music of quartet. But if you see people outside of Detroit, they love it. They love it, and it just gave us that pushing energy that we needed.
Yeah, from the session, you recently released the first single, He Did It.
Yes.
What's the story behind the song, and what does it mean to you?
Well, the song was I'll say the process of me writing. I'll start this with the process of me writing music. Sometimes I will get a tone in my head and I record it or whatever. I'll sometimes write down lyrics or whatnot. But the song came to me. I think I was at work one time. I stepped away from my desk and I just started recording whatever you might be going through. So it went from there, and I gave the song to Tony. But the song just really talks about God's grace, God's mercy, bringing us through so many obstacles we face throughout our day-to-day journeys. The devil tries to attack us every way we can, but God brings us through it. He brings us out all right, brings us out on top. He brings us through whatever we're going through. We just have to be able to stay faithful, stay true to Him, stay prayed up, stay in His Word, and God will do it. And turn around, He already did it. So He did it for us.
How can people get your music? How can they follow you on social media? And how can people contact you?
I'm on all digital outlets. Frank McGee, that's Frank McGee, MCGEE. Instagram, I am Frank McGee. Facebook, Frank McGee. Everything is I am Frank McGee, or type in Frank McGee. You will find me. For booking, you can contact me. I'm looking for a manager. So, until then, I'm managing myself in the moment. So yeah, hit me up on Instagram, Facebook. I'll get you what you need so you can get me.
I follow you on social media, and there was a season, I think you were kind of going through where you felt kind of frustrated, and you kind of displayed that on social media.
Yeah.
Kind of talked about it a little bit. Speak to a creative who, like you, are frustrated right now with what's going on with their career, with their music, with their just whatever it is that they're doing. Speak to someone about how they can work through that frustration to make their dreams become a reality.
Right. Well, first, I would say acknowledge the frustration. Be aware of how you're feeling and be able to pinpoint what it is that you're frustrated about and what's not working, and what area of your life that you're not being fulfilled in, honestly. And you target that area and you figure out ways that are going to be able to have a different outcome for you. It can be, talking to other people. And even if people say, don't go on social media to talk about everything. And I say, why not? As long as you're not telling all your business. But you will find people who are in the same area, in the same place in life that you are in. And they will help you get along with it, tell you what they did to get through it, and tell their coping mechanisms for getting out of the frustration or the state that they're in. And and even as artists, we sometimes become so, what's the word I'm trying to use? We become so stagnant in certain areas, and it's like, how can we manage to get out of this area? I had to find myself getting back to a happy place that made me happy and doing things that I did when I was much younger. Even if this might sound crazy, singing around the house, I didn't do much of that, but I grew out of it. But I felt like that made me happy, and that also inspired me to be able to get more creative and have time for myself. So I would just say acknowledge your frustration, acknowledge what it is that you need help with, or you need a guidance in, and also talk to God about it, because He's the one that is able to bring you out of it, whatever you're going through, honestly. And you do those things, stay prayerful, stay true to who you are. So research your style of singing, research whatever your goal is, do your research. And I'm not mad at it with the frustration, but for me, it helped me. It's a lot of things that you can do, but honestly, I just say stay prayed up, stay connected with God, stay true to who you are, and just figure out what it is that you want to do, and don't let anybody deteriorate you or try to steer you aside from what it is that you love to do, because God brought you to it. He'll bring you through it. And if He gave you that vision, He didn't give it to you for no reason. So, just stay true to who you are, and just continue to stay faithful to Him, and He will be faithful to you. And you look, before you know, you'll be where you need to be.
Wow. Frank Lance McGee. I just messed your name up. Frank McGee, man. It's been such an honor speaking with you tonight, man. You go follow Frank, get his music, get Young Men for Christ music. And as I always in every show, just a reminder to work like you don't need the money, love like you've never been hurt, and dance like no one's watching you. God bless you until we have the opportunity to meet again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
The Carl B. Phillips Show.
Thank you for listening to the Carl B. Phillips Show. For more information, go to carlbphillips.com.
The Carl B. Phillips Show.
Follow Carl B. Phillips on Instagram so we can stay in contact with each other.